Dr. Nerd Currency, home for everything nerd. My name is Ludo.
My name is Timmy.
I'm Ryan.
What's going on, guys? How we been? How we doing?
Good,
Man. Good weather, good vibes. Enjoying the sun.
That's it. And tomorrow is Freedom Day. No more lockdown.
Oh yeah.
No more restrictions.
We finally free.
Out and about. Finally free, myself.
I'm finally free, myself. You don't control me no more. Out of the lockdown. It's been a crazy past, I would say 18 months now, isn't it?
Has it been 18? Yeah, it's been long.
We haven't even seen each other in like over a year.
That too.
No, I've seen Timmy like here and there.
Oh no, I've seen you like, well, I saw you like Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Well, when was I saw Ryan?
Probably last time we recorded.
I think it was.
Probably, yeah. That's crazy, fam.
It's been too long.
Who would have thought? Huh? It's crazy, fam.
Pandemic, innit?
Yeah, pandemic is real pandemic. What do you guys do this weekend then?
I just canceled. Went to brunch, hang out with friends. Next weekend, it's going down. I can't lie. I
went out for cocktails.
Yesterday. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Real cocktail drinker, yeah, same. Literally.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I got back early because obviously you have like these like 2-hour bookings now, innit?
Yeah.
I got back early, like 7 o'clock. I just passed out. I'm not gonna lie.
No, what we did was I started a brunch, then we went to the next spot, then we went to another spot, literally.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
That's the way to do it, bro. He goes one spot, then the next happy hour, then the next one, B.
Multiple 2-hour bookings.
Wasted, yeah?
Exactly.
That's a white girl.
Basically, white girl wasted.
That's how wasted there is.
What? No poll this week, so we get started straight in.
We didn't do a poll this week, so let's do some news. Netflix is planning to start offering video games. I don't know.
They're trying to do what Xbox are doing with the Xbox streaming.
Yeah, which is going to be very interesting. I don't know whether it's going to mean like Netflix are developing their own like game development studio, or they've got one in the works. I don't know, or if they'll be catering to third-party titles. But I feel like it might be them doing too much.
You think so? Yeah.
I feel like they should just focus on the TV and movies.
Mm-hmm.
As much as gaming is popping and everyone wants to secure like the gaming bag and stuff like that, just focus on TV and movies. Like try to do the whole gaming thing as well. I think it's just too much. I think it's just way too much. I like, for example, look at Stadia. I think Stadia is like just a prime example of doing too much and not kind of focusing on what you're known for and what you do best.
What does Stadia even do now? Like that confused me.
So Stadia is still operating, I think, but I just feel like not a lot of people engage with Stadia content or are using the Stadia consoles to play games and stuff like that, just because like it wasn't marketed well amongst other things. I don't know. I mean, it depends how Netflix do this thing. If it's like third-party titles, sure, fine. But you never know. They could release like a mad game in it, like and just blow everyone out the water with it. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think they should.
I don't see that happening personally. You think Netflix is gonna go like down the path of, obviously it's not actually a bad thing because Amazon are mad, just because Amazon started like as a bookstore and now they do basically everything. You think Netflix looks to go down that path?
I don't know, but the price better not go up. This is what I'm saying.
That's
they start making games, the price goes up. I don't want to pay more for Netflix.
Right now, what, 11, 10 pound a month, isn't it?
I mean, as long as they offer people the option, like, okay, well, if you want the games package, it's going to cost you this much.
Yeah, I guess I could just do that, yeah.
But I don't know, man. Like, it's just sticky because I don't know what kind of stuff they're going to deliver, how is it going to work, and the whole cloud gaming situation is, like, very funny in terms of, like, your internet connectivity and everything else, and just, like, I don't know. I think we should leave it, but we'll see.
One Division director, Matt Shackman, is tipped to helm the next Star Trek movie.
I mean, it's okay. I was gonna say it's the Star Trek franchise still going on, but like it's freaking Star Trek. Like it's not gonna end anytime soon.
Star Trek, bro.
Like what was the last Star Trek movie that came out?
I'm not gonna lie, I've not followed the Star Trek movies, so I've got no idea.
You're missing out, bro. Star Trek is
really
good.
Do you know what?
Actually good.
The movies are good. The movies are good.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
But having said that, I've never really sat down to really watch the Star Trek series. I don't know whether or not I'm missing out, but like the movies are great, and I mean, I get everything. I get all the references and everything else. And then obviously you had Star Trek Discovery, which was amazing stuff as well. So yeah, I mean, the franchise still goes on.
The reason I even watched Star Trek and know a lot of Star Trek because he used to come on straight after Will Smith on BBC Two.
Yeah,
the Fresh Prince basically used to come on. I was like, that's how I used to watch it. So that's how I've been into Star Trek, and plus obviously the genre that we, find ourselves in. Like, cool, moving on. Kratos voice actor Christopher Judge will voice Black Panther in Marvel's Avengers War for Wakanda.
Bro, that T'Challa's gonna have like the maddest, deepest voice ever, bro.
Wakanda forever.
Bro, Christopher just has such a unique voice, but like T'Challa's gonna be sounding like he's got some mad bass in his thing. But I'm excited for the expansion, man, because I think the Avengers game had a very rocky start. It lost a lot of people, but then I think it's slowly getting back to, I guess, the game that they wanted to release at the beginning with all the expansions and stuff. And I think they're going in the right direction currently. And I say that
I even told you, like, from when we played it like obviously a year or so before it came out. I don't think in the game, man. There's something too clunky about it, and just the mechanics and the whole like driver was like, nah.
I mean, I felt that. I felt that, but I feel like, I mean, the mechanics haven't changed since we played the early access and then and now. But I feel like it also depends on the characters you play as, how you progress as the characters. Because I think like now, characters I didn't really like at the beginning, I do like now because I've just leveled them up to a certain point where they flow better and stuff like that. But I think the game is a lot better than when it was. Is it worth buying at this point? It depends. It depends. If you've got it already, I would say maybe go back to it, and see what you feel about like the new stuff and everything else. But it's still very. But I feel like Square Enix are going to put all their efforts into like the Guardians of the Galaxy game once that drops, and kind of showcase that a Marvel game can work.
Guardians of the Galaxy, they need to follow with their game. Like Ratchet and Clank, you can fly from planet to planet.
Right.
They got like, add that into it.
They have to have some kind of planetary exploration.
Exactly. They got to add that. They got to add that. Obviously, those Guardians of the Galaxy, they don't stay on one planet for too long. Obviously, they go to the galaxy, just Earth or whatever. So they got to have that aspect of literally flying from planet to planet.
Also,
I didn't even know they were doing a Guardians game. That's a good concept, though. I prefer the idea of a Guardians game to an Avengers one.
Have you not seen the trailer for the Guardians game?
No.
So basically, it's a full-on Guardians game with like the whole squad, but you only control Star-Lord.
Okay,
the rest of the characters are controlled
CPI.
real time, but tactfully like real time, so you can tell them like to use certain moves, you can do combos and stuff like that. So it's not turn-based at all, but it's still like you control Star-Lord mainly, but then you can tell Gamora to go do one thing and Jax to do another thing. Like it does look like a solid game.
It would have been cool if you could toggle between characters, though.
It would be, but I feel like going off what they've learned off Avengers, they've realized that it might be better to solely on one character and then allow the other characters to be run by AI or the computer and let them do more, I guess, flashier stuff as opposed to you controlling 6 characters, right? 5 characters. And then, each of them have like very, very similar move sets with like maybe one of the moves a little bit different from the other, but it's very much like same like, like square is melee and triangle is a strong attack and blah, blah, blah. So I think it works, but I feel like we have to play the game first to really like see what they're going to deliver when it comes to this game. But it does look good. It definitely does look good.
Cool. Antonio Banderas will co-star with Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 5.
They're doing another indie film. Like this,
the last one was the last one.
That's why I thought the last one was the last one.
How many more secret artifacts are we?
How old is Harrison Ford at this point as well?
Oh, he just celebrated he just celebrated his like 79th, 78th birthday like last week.
Come on, man. Was he doing Indiana Jones movies at that age?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing he's not doing his own stunts anyway.
Definitely not. But I mean,
I'm surprised Indiana Jones hasn't been rebooted.
Same. I was just about to say that. Like, as classic as Indiana Jones is, there is scope for it to be rebooted amongst like all the other movies that have been rebooted.
Yeah, exactly, been rebooted. So you think that one as well, like a younger character or younger Indiana Jones, of course.
I give it 3 years from when he retires.
There must be a contractual reason, I think, because there must be something tied to Harrison Ford as the character why they haven't done a reboot. Because they should have done a reboot maybe after the last one. Because obviously when they had Shia LaBeouf in there as his son and stuff like that, they could have easily done like a spin-off or a reboot from that, and they clearly haven't. So the fact they're going to do a 5th film with Harrison Ford as Indy, there must be something in the contract there that says like they can't do a reboot as of yet. But either way, I'm going to watch it. I like the Indiana Jones films. Like they're very much a classic. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Like fam, they all bang. They all bang. Like
Kalima. Classic.
Okay, what's next? Oh god, Space Jam currently has a 38% on Tomato Meter with 74 critic reviews.
Are you surprised by that? Because I know you've seen it. I haven't seen it.
I mean, I feel like people are going into Space Jam, one, with the nostalgia of the first one, and two, for some reason, expecting some kind of like groundbreaking, acting debut from LeBron James. Like, it's a nice like kiddie family film of a basketball superstar playing with cartoon characters. Like, I don't know what people are really expecting.
Even with the first Space Jam, Michael Jordan, he was like a great actor.
Right. Like, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing special.
It didn't matter though, because like, he's just Michael Jordan,
Like we watched Space Jam for the wackiness of the Looney Tunes. That's a fact. It just happens to be like sold with, a celebrity basketball player attached to it. I don't know what people are really, because I enjoyed the film. There were moments where I genuinely did laugh at some of the stuff that went on the screen. It was quite funny. Like, it was generally quite funny. So I don't know where people are getting these kind of like low reviews for the film for, because it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I think people are either going to this film not wanting to enjoy it, or they're just being difficult. I don't know. I just don't know at this point, because the film is good. It's a genuinely solid film.
Cool. Idris Elba and Lucasfilm brings back season 5 director Jamie Payne's helm the project for BBC and Netflix. The crime drama could start shooting as soon as this fall.
Why are they doing a Lucasfilm?
I thought it was. I didn't even know it was a film. I thought it was just doing another series.
Apparently doing a film, innit? So expanding on the Luthor universe.
I'm not a fan. I can't I'm not a fan of Luthor. I'm just not a fan of them trying to create a film. I don't see the point.
Yeah,
I just don't see the point.
It's much better just like episode format.
Yeah,
I would like to watch another season, but
yeah, I don't know. Cancel it. Just cancel it.
Okay.
I have nothing more to say.
Okay, this one will be interesting. Ryan, Colin Farrell says Penguin is only in the Batman for 5 or 6 scenes.
Yeah, I saw that. To me, that's not a bad thing, because to me, you don't want to overpopulate the film with other films. You don't want too many different storylines. It becomes messy. So, but it's also like world building at the same time. So you'll start to see obviously how he's built Gotham with what villains are local, but you ain't gonna see too much of them yet.
And it's loosely following the night of the Dark Halloween, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think we'll see a lot of them, but I think
but not in depth,
not heavily involved, or necessarily heavily involved with the main storyline.
When's it due to come out again, the Batman?
Do you know what? After all these delays,
I think it's 2022, 2023.
What?
It's definitely not this year.
I think it's 2023. It's definitely 2022.
Let me see.
But still, though, it's long. Like, it should have dropped.
It's 2022. It's 2022.
Then what's his name? Kept getting COVID as well, and that. Didn't Batman get COVID?
I mean, I don't actually know, but obviously production all got halted regardless. But the original release date is already gone past.
Oh yeah, the original release date was June.
Yeah,
this year.
So if this pandemic happened, we would have seen that.
Yeah. I mean, the pandemic robbed us of a lot of stuff for this year, man. So like
a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah, but I mean, if the Penguin's only in the film for like 6 scenes, I hope there are 6 powerful scenes, like not just like a walking cameo type thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I need some impacts from him.
Yeah, it's got to start building these characters for future movies.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to expand the world.
Speaking of Batman, bit of a tangent. So, I heard about this thing where they are showcasing the Joker film, with a live orchestra, right? So I was like, oh, it's good, like, it sounds interesting. Let me go check out what the tickets are saying, innit? Because obviously, if a live orchestra is there for like the Joker film, the bathroom scene is gonna be pretty epic to hear. I went to get tickets now. Tell me why they're charging people £135 for this thing. I was like,
all part of the experience, isn't it?
I don't like the film that much. I got like, it's like the price is ridiculous. Like, nah, man, nah. I get like the whole orchestra experience, but nah, I'm not paying that much.
All part of it, B. All right, cool. I ain't seen this, but Titans free trailer released and drops August 12th. You still watching Titans?
I'm definitely still watching Titans, but I haven't seen the trailer.
I'm 100%. I'm watching Titans. But I still haven't forgot about the bullshit they pulled at the end.
What bullshit was going?
When they killed Donna Troy.
Did they?
Yeah, man. She got pitched. She got electrocuted. She didn't even get killed by death.
Yeah.
And she tried to like save that girl at the end at the fun fair or something. They just
And she
killed her.
died by getting electric shock.
Yeah, I
They'd
forgot
already
about
beaten the
that.
bad guy. There was no need for her to die.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
she died by electric shock.
Yeah.
So that done. Yeah, but I
100%.
haven't seen the trailer. I need to watch the trailer, but I'm excited for season 3. Hopefully we get to see, you know, Blackfire and Starfire do some stuff. I want to see more of Raven. I want to see Beast Boy transform into something else apart from a freaking tiger.
Yeah.
Which I'm still confused as to why.
They
He's
hinted at it
still,
as
he's
well,
still
like,
only
why
transfers to a tiger.
It's only a tiger.
Yeah, then.
But they've
Only
hinted
if-
at him being able to, if he could do this, then he'd potentially be able to turn into whatever animal he wants. They've hinted at it on the show, but he hasn't got to that point yet. But it's annoying.
But what is that point? Do you know what I mean? It should be from the get-go. Like, he can just transform into any animal.
Is it like a budget thing, like where you can't?
Probably.
Probably like a budget thing.
Not enough budget in the CG,
Yeah.
in the CGI department.
Red Hood as well. Red Hood is going to be in it.
Yeah, but I heard they kind of like retconning how he becomes Red Hood, isn't it? He doesn't actually die or something, right?
Don't have to.
If you watch the trailer, I haven't watched it, but I know there's a scene in the trailer that implies that he was killed because there's a frame of the crowbar.
Okay, so it's
Okay.
very implied that he gets killed or whatnot. Between season 2 and season 3, is there a time gap?
I got no idea.
That's only what
There
makes
might
sense.
be.
A time gap because obviously Red Hood he trains with the
Yeah,
League of
yeah,
Assassins and whatnot, and he goes over training before he fully comes to Gotham.
yeah.
So,
It'd
you
be
know,
interesting.
it's not an overnight thing him becoming Red Hood, you know.
No, of course, yeah.
So if that happens, I'll tune in. But if it's just a quick rush thing where cool, he gets killed, he becomes Red Hood, but
That wouldn't make sense because
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense.
there's no
Well, he hit
motivation
the
for him to
winner.
be Red Hood
Yeah.
after that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. But I think it's funny because Red Hood was one of my favorite Batman characters. I think I'd be more interested in seeing him on the live screen and live action. But yeah,
No, I get it. No, if it's not going to be done properly, then.
I mean, the Titans TV series has been solid so far. I think. I don't think they'll disappoint. I don't think they will. I mean, having said that, I'm really surprised. No one's really spoken about, you know, what's DC's streaming platform called again?
DC Online Universe, something like that.
Yeah, like no one's spoken about like in a very, very long time.
Is it because it's still not available in the UK? I swear.
But even
Yeah,
in general, I've not seen it on social media online,
Yeah.
like in ages. Don't know whether or not they're still planning to produce content for it, but
I think it's one of the ones when after a while you use it for the first like 2 weeks ago, month or whatever with a free trial, and it doesn't like connect to people. People stop talking about it, or just they go back to their normal illegal streaming sites or whatnot. If it can't connect, if there's no new like product or
New content, then
content being put in it,
yeah, exactly.
nothing to be talk about.
makes sense.
Speaking of new content, when we get Young Justice the next part of the season,
No idea, bro. I don't even know. That's even.
Harder. I think it's 2023. I'm gonna check right now.
yeah, someone have a quick look as well.
Google. It's coming. Oh, October this year.
It's coming
Season
October this
4.
year.
October this year, HBO
Oh
Max.
shit! Yeah, it is.
October
That's
21st.
lit, bro. That's
That's soon.
That's soon.
real
That's-
soon.
Maybe
That's
back
what,
up.
3 months.
Yeah, bro. More or less, that'll be around the corner. Bro. I'm loving that.
I might have to rewatch it.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to catch up and whatnot. Like Ryan, I think you put this one. Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam post. What do you say? What do you do?
Did you see the Rock's post of
I
him?
saw it. I saw it.
It was like a shot from behind, and he's got like the bodysuit on.
Okay.
And for me, you can't see a lot. You can kind of see. But for me, the suit looks nuts. I
Yeah.
feel like the suit is going to be nuts.
So he did another post as well. I think they've just wrapped up filming for Black Adam.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah. Like I think this film's gonna be nuts. You know. Like,
Do you know it's the captions? It's the captions he's putting on his photo.
yeah. Like I think The Rock is probably more hyped for this film than we are. Like
Yeah.
I don't.
It was meant to come like years ago, so you better be hyped.
It's gonna be mad. It's gonna be mad. This might be The Rock's best performance to date.
Yeah. I feel like it will be completely different to like the typical Dwayne Johnson rampage type movie.
Absolutely.
Like he's treating it differently.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Kevin Feige refuses to rule out a crossover between Spider-Man and Venom.
Well, that goes without saying. To be fair,
It's to be expected at some point.
Because Kevin Feige knows Sony have him where they want him now. They do.
You think?
you think so? You think it's that way around?
100%.
Go on,
Because
Ryan.
with the rights they have to Spider-Man, like Tom Holland and that, innit?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like with them. It's like, well, if you want Venom, you got to use our Venom.
Yeah,
For Carnage, got to use our
I think
Carnage.
like the ball's in their corner when it comes to that. Because of the rights to Spider-Man.
I mean, like with Sony, I feel like Sony are playing smart by kind of like producing all these kind of like character movies.
Remember
because
when Sony weren't going to let him use them anymore?
Yeah.
Remember that whole thing happened? Like,
Yeah.
How quick that developed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
that thing was for like a week, though, wasn't it? Then they said,
nah, but it was still a thing though. Like that.
Yeah,
That was
it was a massive thing. Everyone was like, what?
I mean, even the fact that they you know, that they're doing a Mobius film, like, just automatically means that Feige can't do anything Midnight Suns related unless they use Sony's Mobius. Like, they're playing it smart. They are. Like, they're saying, like, you know, regardless of what's going on with the MCU, like, we're still here. We still have hold of a lot of your characters.
We're still getting a Black Cat movies.
What Sony will do, I think, if they eventually put Tom Holland, once they put Tom Holland Spider-Man in one of their movies, so like, then they've basically merged the Sony universe with the MCU in a sense.
I think.
I think it'll be more smoother to bring the Sony characters over to the MCU than the other way around.
It would be, but I don't think. I think if Kevin Feige had the chance, he would do no crossovers with Sony whatsoever.
Yeah,
so I don't think he would willingly send MCU.
But I think after the events of Loki, which we'll get into and stuff, there is a scope for a lot of crossing over and stuff, and just kind of like putting it under the guise of variants and the multiverse and stuff. So like there is room. There is a lot of room for this kind of like connectivity. I think definitely.
Cool. HBO Max is developing 3 animated Game of Thrones shows.
Why? Because we haven't even got the first spin-off show yet. And you're only giving us
because we can't even watch. We can't get HBO Max.
It's still not available to us, isn't it?
Yeah, like
it's probably gonna be a Sky thing. It's gonna be a Sky.
When are they gonna make that available to us?
Talk to Sky. It's Sky. Sky owned the distribution rights for HBO shows in the UK.
Yeah.
So until they kind of figure out what to do in terms of like integrating HBO Max to Sky, we're not gonna get a lot of stuff. That's
cutting off a big part of your market, though. Like we exist, you know what I'm saying? Like in terms of
it's gonna get hidden behind the Sky paywall. Like Sky will be like, oh, you got to pay for like, because like for example with Justice League, they're like, oh, if you want to watch in UK, you got to pay like I think it was like what 13 or 14 quid.
Yeah.
So like they're probably just gonna do stuff like that.
That's I got that Now TV subscription. I watched it.
Oh yeah, everyone did, bro.
Everyone did.
Bro, Now TV must have seen it.
I had to watch the film 2 times. I was like, no, I'm watching it at least twice before my subscription ends.
Now TV saw a spike in their subscriptions, like, oh, okay. And then you saw a massive dip after.
And then 2 days later, everyone cancelling the renewal.
And the thing is, Now TV, they tried to be sneaky. They said, usually they give you 1 month free. They gave you like, what, 7 days, isn't it?
Yeah. Like we see, we know you're only here for Justice League.
Yeah, you're getting me. Because you know some people forgetting it and try to charge you, like, nah, bro, I'm out of here. And you plug what these things do. They hide like the unsubscribe thing, so it makes it harder to see. Now
TV's unsubscribe thing is the longest thing ever because like you go like I wanna deactivate my account. Are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure? Yeah.
Oh, we want to give you a deal. We'll give you like a month free. Nah. Oh, you're gonna miss out on all these shows. Nah.
Then go to this page.
Are you really, really sure? I'm like, my guy. Like I'm canceling this thing today. I don't care what you put in front of me. I was canceling this thing today.
Get me out of this contract,
bro. Ego, bro. This episode of the Nerd Council podcast is brought to you by ELGATO and the new Wave 1 microphone. Now, I know you're probably thinking this is some generic podcast ad, but mate, you cannot deny the sound quality. The new Wave 1 has allowed us to deliver an incredible audio experience for you guys, while still allowing us to deliver the same great content you all love and enjoy. So go check out the new Wave 1 and see how it can improve your audio content. Now, back to our episode. Let's get into our main topic. So, Loki season 1 has wrapped up. We saw a lot in the finale. We saw a lot in the main show. I guess first question would be like, what does glorious purpose mean to you guys? In regards to that question, I know you did, so I'm asking it.
Yeah, so with that, glorious purpose means to me. Yeah, one thing I know is that obviously all the Loki to say I have a glorious purpose. I think their glorious purpose is to die.
Really?
Yeah, I think their glorious purpose is to die doing something for someone other than themselves. You know, Lokis are usually meant to be selfish, and only care about themselves, and they're very snaky. And one thing I've noticed, like for example, I'm putting 2 and 2 together. For example, with Loki in the original timeline, he dies trying to help Thor and obviously the other Asgardians through Thanos, and that's just him trying to help them by trying to back to backstab Thanos. And in this one, you notice in the last episode, the old Loki, the classic Loki, he's screaming out glorious purpose when he's trying to distract Aphalith, and so the other Lokis can get past. And he shouted out glorious purpose. So I think the glorious purpose is for them to die doing something like courageous or like courageous for someone else. I think that's their glorious purpose. To find their glorious purpose. Because usually glorious Lokis who think their glorious purpose to like to have a lead or to be conquerors or whatnot. But I literally think their glorious purpose is to die for something other than themselves. They find out in when they're at death's door, if that makes sense.
I think it's interesting because I made a comment about, you know, the Loki at the beginning of Endgame has gone through this very long character arc of, I guess, going from Loki the trickster to becoming Loki the hero, Loki the brother, Loki of Loki of Asgard. He went through this very long character arc where Loki in the TV show kind of went through the same kind of story arc where he went from Loki the trickster to Loki the hero, but in a very, very short time frame. Yeah, and I think it had to do with him obviously realizing that he was going to die, reliving the trauma of his actions leading to his mother's death. Yeah. And I guess also finding out that there are different versions of him that exist throughout space and time. And I think
also it's saying how insignificant his whole goal is of
exactly.
He finds that Infinity Stones are basically like trinkets in the TVA.
Like they call them paperweights. Yeah. Like, Infinity Stone is a paperweight to these guys. Like so when we talk about Loki and his glorious purpose, I think his glorious purpose is to discover that inherently he's not evil. He's not the evil guy he thinks he is. He's not the evil guy he portrays to everyone else. Really, and in fact, really and truly, he is a hero. He is the good guy that I think deep down he knows he is. I think that's what his glorious purpose is to discover that he isn't the evil mastermind that he wants to be, or the evil, mischievous person that he's created in his head because of, you know, Odin's deception and Thor being a dickhead to him when they were younger, like those type of things. So that's what I think. Well, when is Loki's glorious purpose, as it were. But that's just one opinion.
You're right, that'd be it.
For me, I just thought it was more with Loki. I felt his glorious purpose, or he's always felt like he has one. He's always wanted to lead something or take something over. I feel like he's always felt the need because of essentially his own insecurities in a way. That's what I think it is. He needs to feel like important. And then I think obviously the character arc he goes on over the course of the TV series, he basically realizes he's not that important.
Yeah. Do you think that like a little brother syndrome as well? Because obviously when you're royalty, if you're the little brother, you're not the first to rule. It's going to be your brother. So do you think that comes into play as well?
I think it's that, but also that because Odin treated him a lot differently than he did to Thor. Yeah, he had love for Loki, but like Thor was the golden child. Thor was given Mjolnir. Thor led people into battle. Thor was the warrior. Blah 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 blah. Like Thor, like all that kind of, you know, caused Loki to, you know, lash out and act out, and it grew to the point where him lashing out, acting out, led to the Battle of New York. Because really and truly, Loki's actions are just a one big temper tantrum. Yeah, if we're keeping the buck, like everything he done is just a big temper tantrum.
I think also it also kind of like annoyed him as well that obviously through all those years, Thor never actually wanted to lead. I think that kind of like irked him as well. Thor actually never wanted to be the leader of Asgard or the king of Asgard. He wanted to, you know, just battle on that. When Loki had obviously the temperamental abilities, obviously being clever, smart, all that stuff, and Thor was just, you know, headstrong type guy. But he's just destined to lead, and Loki's like, but I have the qualities for it, but because he's older than me, that means he's destined for it.
I don't even think it was older because it was older than him. I think it was probably because Odin didn't want a frost giant on the throne. That's the real, you know, the real spit by it. Like Odin just did not want a frost giant on the throne, and he'd rather put his efforts into making Thor the leader of a king of Asgard, even though Thor was, you know, being a brat himself and not wanting to do anything, than rather see Loki's potential to could have been probably a really good ruler, but frost giants, innit? That's the pure symbol of it all. So what do you guys actually think overall of like the Loki of the TV show? Like,
I think I think if you break it down episode by episode, I think it's very hit and miss. I feel like without being overly critical, the first couple episodes for me were just a bit boring. For me, it felt like there wasn't really too much going on in like.
Yeah, if it was more explanation of the TVA than stuff actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. There wasn't like that much, like say, story progression for me. But I think with the payoff in like episode 4, 5, and 6, for me, it still balances out. It's worth it, especially with like the last episode, with what they done in the last episode.
Yeah.
For me as well, I agree with Ryan. There was hit and miss, and obviously what they were doing obviously is they were obviously world building and trying to explain the TVA to us because as we know, multiverses and obviously timelines can get a bit confused. They're just trying to hone in on that. There's actually a lot happening with the backstory with Sylvie, the variants or whatnot, that happening. But I was kind of disappointed there was only 6 episodes because if it's only 6 episodes, you'd think they'll try make it more jam-packed, action-packed from the get-go.
I feel like
because if you're gonna do it a 6 episode compared to the other lengths, you'd think they'll get to the point much quicker compared to.
Yeah, exactly.
But because they've got a season 2 guaranteed, they didn't need to do that. They had to do it with WandaVision. They had to do it with Falcon and Winter Soldier because those are only going to be single seasons. But because we're going to have multiple seasons, I think that's why they kind of like stretch things out because it's still going to continue. Or else I think they would have kind of gotten to the point a lot quicker with about Kang, being the one behind the TVA and the other variants. We would have got to that a lot sooner. Probably from like maybe episode 2 or 3.
Like for me, the TV show kind of started when he got pruned.
Yes.
And then he went to that place and then he met the other. That was when I was hooked. That's when I was interested, like heavily in the shows. You know what I mean? Not that I wasn't before. I was always going to watch it, of course, but I was just like sometimes struggling to pay attention because I found it a bit boring. Like
I think a lot of the time I was watching the show just to kind of look out for Easter eggs as opposed to kind of just like pay attention to what's going on. I think it wasn't until like they brought Loki and Sylvie in front of the TVA themselves. That's when I thought that's when for me things picked up, and that's when okay, now things are interesting. Now we're kind of seeing what's going on behind the scenes and everything else. So before that, like I said, like you said, the show is very hit and miss.
Obviously now we're kind of speaking of hindsight. Who did you guys at first thought the TVA was?
Honestly, I had no clue. I had no clue. Like, obviously, I read up on the TVA, within Marvel Comics and stuff like that. So I knew what to expect, but then it was like the whole mystery behind what was going on. I just thought it was going to be another Loki.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be another variant. And they'd be like, okay, cool, fine, is what it is. Give an explanation. And then somehow Loki would then take over from the variant as the ruler of the TVA. That's what I was expecting.
I was expecting Watchers, personally.
Okay, I see it. Yeah, it's a possibility. It makes sense. To be honest, it really makes sense at this point.
To be honest, I wasn't that surprised about who it was, about it being Kang. Like, I didn't say I think it's going to be Kang, but I saw some theory. And it was about the quantum realm. And it was the theory that the TVA is in the quantum realm, and I was a bit skeptical, but then obviously Kang also being in Ant-Man and the Quantumania kind of strengthens that theory because we know he's going to be in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Kang theories and I thought, okay, if it's Kang, cool. But I think it's the fact that it was a Kang variant, that makes things a lot more interesting than just.
Definitely. Even when I thought it might be Kang, the way they've done it, I wasn't expecting that at all, and it just the scope for what they can do now. It's just they've completely changed it.
He who remains. They actually didn't say Kang. They said the Conqueror, he who remains, but they actually didn't say Kang.
I mean, obviously we know it's Kang, though.
Obviously we know, but I'm just saying they actually didn't say.
The way they've done it, I think, as well with the variants. So we know this one's a different one's going to come. And we know the one eventually we're going to see is going to be more like the Kang as we know him. Which is
it might even be a case where we're dealing with multiple Kangs in this kind of next phase of the MCU, as opposed to just dealing with a single one. So we know obviously one is going to appear in Quantumania, but it might be a case of like
what
we're dealing with, or what we're leading up to is a multiversal war where all these different Kangs are trying to take over and do X, Y, Z, and we're seeing kind of coming into, I'll call it the main timeline as opposed to the sacred timeline. We're coming into the main timeline to mess things up and F shit up. So I think that's where this is going. at this stage, because initially I was a bit skeptical as to what the MCU is leading up to.
Yeah.
Who's the quote unquote Thanos of
The big bad.
the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's clear at this stage that what we're getting, or what we're getting up to, is Kang's creating a multiversal war and our heroes having to stop that from happening, because them going through a multiversal war is going to start or create something even worse. We don't know what that thing is yet, but I think that's where we're leading up to at this point.
Do you think it's kind of leading up to like Secret Wars and that?
I thought about that, but I feel like it would be too messy, because the thing with Secret Wars is, the important thing about Secret Wars is the incursions. It's that kind of clash of like the planets and the multiverse trying to rectify itself.
Yeah.
So if we do have that, it would be interesting, but I'm just not sure how that will kind of work within the current confines of what they're building in terms of the multiverse. It might be something for later, but it's actually no. When you think about it now, it's possible. I think it's doable.
It'd be a very good way to just introduce new characters.
Yeah.
If he was to do this like multiversal war, you bring all these characters in from different universes, and then something happens that changes it back all into one.
All into one timeline.
One timeline, and then everyone's in the same continuity.
Because we're still getting the Fantastic Four, so that still gives us time to introduce Doom and everything else, and Reed Richards and all the kind of important characters that make up and the arcs that make up the Secret Wars arc. So it's very much a possibility. Will they do it? I don't know.
What about? I know we always talk about this, but do you think it makes it easier for them to introduce mutants now?
Yes, 100%. 100%. The fact that a multiverse exists now definitely gives scope to mutants. But then I think what's going to happen is that these mutants are just going to be variants of characters that already exist in a weird way. I know it sounds very kind of funny, but I don't see them necessarily doing traditional Magneto, Charles, Scott, and all them people. What I see them doing is, maybe there is someone called Scott Lang, and then maybe there's someone called, seems like, Natasha Romanoff, blah, blah, blah. All these kind of like characters' names that we do know, but they're mutants. Do you know what I mean? That to me is a simple idea, kind of works. It's how will the community respond well to that? I don't know. But an existence of a multiverse and existence of variants of characters could be a good way for them to kind of step into the mutants of it all type thing.
One thing I also wanted to touch on that I really liked about obviously Loki, the show, is that obviously it took a philosophical aspect with talk about free will and if there's destiny and things that are predetermined as well. What would you guys thoughts on that? And obviously it kind of spoke about obviously he's seen all timeline, the timeline. He knows what's happened up to a certain point. Now things are predetermined now, and up to a certain point now, and things are meant to happen in this way. And obviously with all that, what did you guys think of that? And how they were speaking about that,
I think it kind of leads back to, I guess, like with what do you call it? So the point I want to make is this, right? So remember back in Infinity War, when Doctor Strange saw how many 40 million possibilities, right? So the 40 million possibilities, the one he saw was the one that wouldn't mess up the timeline. That's what I'm going with at this point.
Yeah.
So in regards to like free will and in regards to things happening, in regards to, going up to a certain point, knowing what should and is going to happen, I think within the scope of the MCU and the scope of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, whatever it is, there are characters who are going to know, or who are destined to do things up to a certain point, including dying or messing things up, and I think that kind of leads into Loki's character a little bit as well. Like Loki is destined to, like I said, either sacrifice himself for the greater good, or have that self-realization of becoming the good guy. Free was always going to be an interesting topic to discuss within the confines of anything, but I don't know if all the characters or all the people within the MCU have free will as much as we think they do. I think, like Kang said, like everything is kind of determined up to a point. And it's a question of who is deciding what this thing is.
that's why I think Kang is even possibly more, or even like more scarier than Thanos, because Kang let all that stuff happen and he's seen all that stuff happen and he's thought, and he's like, that doesn't affect my end goal, my end plan, anything that Thanos does.
Yeah,
it just shows how much power and just how scary the possibilities he has over
Yeah,
things.
it's a completely different scale of power to Thanos.
like
Thanos, I mean, I know he had the stones in that, but he was like brute force, brute strength.
Mhm.
If he had to, do you know what I mean? Kang, obviously, I know we're going to see a different version, but this one, he didn't seem like that. But it's very cynical to do what he's done, basically.
And Kang seems just the guy, the puppeteer behind the mask type
there
thing.
we go. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
as far as Kang was
In the shadow.
concerned, anything that happens within the timeline that he's established can happen, as long as it's not creating a Nexus event or, you know, a splitting of the timelines and stuff. It can happen.
Mhm.
So Thanos, you know, destroying half the universe, that's fine. That's
Mhm.
cool. Doesn't matter. You know, the Avengers going back to get the Infinity Stones and then, you know, putting it back is fine, because I guess that rectifies the Nexus event that would have occurred when they done that. Although I saw, okay, tangent, but I do have questions now, because
What about Cap going back?
about Cap going back, I think I've always had this kind of nagging feeling about Cap going back and it making sense. And to me, my question is, how do you put back the stones from where you remove them? If we think about all the situations where the stones are removed,
Mhm.
especially the Soul Stone,
Yeah,
that's the one that really bugs me. It's like, how do you put back something that you only obtained from the death of someone else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like how does that fix the timeline? I almost feel like Cap putting the stones back in itself was a Nexus event waiting to happen.
Mhm.
And I feel like what's happened, okay, bear with me. So what I feel like has happened is like Cap putting the stones back allowed for the TVA to have to intervene and rectify that mistake. That's the only conclusion I have. Like, Cap put the stones back thinking, okay, everything's fine.
Mhm.
But he ended up creating Nexus events that the TVA had to go and then rectify.
Yeah.
That's the only way it makes sense to me. Because right now, him, like, for like even things like the time stone, taking the time stone from the ancient one and putting it back or giving it back just doesn't really make sense in the grand scheme of the time travel thing. So the only thing I can think of is like the TVA has gone back to rectify that. That's the only way that works.
Yeah, with that it gets a bit.
It gets techie. It gets techie. It gets techie. Like time travel in Endgame to me makes sense up to that point.
Yeah.
Because they really and truly, you could have just had the Infinity Stones and kept them in at that point in time. But
I remember I said this a while back when we talked about time travel, I think in Endgame episode. Now we know there's different forms of time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we know that there's different forms of time travel. But even speaking of time travel TVA, do you guys think the TVA justified in what they do?
Absolutely. Well, in terms of what Kang is trying to achieve,
Mhm.
absolutely. I mean, he's trying to just stop a multiversal war.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to, I guess, stop or prevent the existence of anything or everything that lives beyond the initial timeline. So any kind of
And
like
that also doesn't come back to the point of there's no free will, because if Kang is making sure that nothing exists, nothing splinters off the sacred timeline.
Well, yeah. And I mean, that's why Sylvie's kind of pissed, because like Kang took her life away from her and removed choice from her life at such a young age. Like, Sylvie didn't have a choice as to whether or not she existed. She didn't have a choice as to whether or not she would have a life in Asgard and a family and everything else. And Kang took all of those things away from her and told her, well, you know, you're an issue, you're a problem, you're a blip that needs to be removed because I'm trying to protect something and you don't make sense within this thing, so you have to go. So yeah, I think there's a limit to the free will that is had within the confines of the MCU because of what Kang was doing, should I say? Because what he's done now, or Sylvie killing him, changes things.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I have a question.
Yeah.
When does everything in Loki occur?
No idea when it's.
I think after when in the TVA, like where they think they're outside of time, but as we know, it starts off on Loki after the battle in New
Right.
York. So let's say 2012, 2013, but out there clearly outside of time. Because remember what they do is they even pull variants to work for them from different times, different parts of the year. Like for example,
Right.
Yeah,
what's her name? What's her name? Judge. We call her Judge Judy. I forgot her name. She got pulled from 2018, and she's clearly worked
yeah.
for thousands of years. We don't know how that works, but she
Right.
got
Right.
pulled
Right.
in 2018. So clearly they work outside of time. The TVA.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
What did you guys think of, I guess, finally seeing Loki or Loki's using the full length of their abilities? Do you feel like there's a reason why Loki's been so nerfed up to this point in the MCU?
I
But
don't.
we even said most characters got nerfed, and they have to build upon it, build on getting
Yeah,
stronger.
but I
Like
think
we said Thor. Obviously, he starts off thing weak, he gets stronger and stronger as the movies go on. So I think Loki was on that same path of just having to build on that. Or
as
even Iron
well.
Man, you said each movie the
You know
suits
the
gets
old
better.
Loki.
Yeah.
You see the old Loki. You know what he does when he puts up the whole thing to stop Aliath or whatever his name is. I think we haven't seen our Loki do that.
No.
Yeah.
So I feel obviously that Loki, his capabilities are a lot higher. So I feel eventually we're going to see, and obviously Sylvie taught him how to enchant as well. He's expanded his powers, and I think they'll get stronger as well.
But I think it's just interesting that Loki doesn't seem to know what he's capable of.
Exactly, yeah, because he said that himself. He implied it when he said it to her.
I don't know. I just feel like I think. Well, actually, no, because even old Loki says something about how using swords or blades kind of like dampens or lessens a Loki's power. Or something like there was a scene like in episode 5 where he said something like that, and I was like, it makes an interesting point because Loki's always got like 2 swords in hand. So maybe the reason why he hasn't been able to kind of use his powers and learn the magics that he should be doing is because he's kind of relying too much on
brute strength technique.
Yeah, kind of similar to I guess again mimicking Thor in a way because Thor has his hammer and he's swinging about and stuff. So Loki looked for a way to kind of get involved in the battles as such with like blades. But yeah, I know it's just the point I had.
The portrayal of Kang. What was that thing about the portrayal of Kang?
I liked it.
Oh, like Jonathan Majors is amazing.
He's a great, he's a really good actor.
Like he gave layers, he gave depth, he gave highs, he gave lows, he gave mystery, he gave craziness. He was a good choice for Kang.
At first, I was kind of like upset, or not upset. I was kind of like surprised that obviously we didn't get like a Conqueror type vibes. We got more like he was aloof. Then I noticed, this is just a variant. So this is just one Kang. So obviously we're gonna get the Kang, the Conqueror Kang. So I can't wait to see that type of portrayal he brings us as well. So we saw one aspect.
I was happy they didn't give it to us. I was happy they didn't show us it because obviously we know, like I said, we know we're gonna get it. And I kind of like the fact that after Sylvie made the decision to kill him, it cuts away to like the TVA. There's a statue of him now.
Of him, yeah.
Oh, that's the guy we want to see. But I didn't want them to give it away so early. Wait, see what happens in Ant-Man and see what happens going forward. I'm guessing he's obviously not just going to be in Ant-Man and that's it. I expect them to be more of a presence now.
I think he is the big bad for this phase. Like it just makes sense. Like yeah.
I feel they get a proper Kang the Conqueror in Quantumania.
I think we're gonna get another Kang variant.
I think I'm not sure if we'll get the one from the TVA. Who knows?
I think what's gonna happen is there's gonna be a single Kang that's gonna like overrule or oversee their others, and they're gonna not necessarily be working for him, but I can't just working with him. But there'll be someone who's like the big major Kang that's kind of overlooking everything, trying to get this thing kind of going and started. So I think for maybe the first 2 or 3 times we see Kang, there's going to be a variant until we get to like.
I think as well, if I'm being honest, I don't think if they were going to do it, I don't think Ant-Man's the movie you do it in.
Yeah, it's like Ant-Man's not the movie to present us with Kang the Conqueror. Do you know what I mean? Maybe tease him, but not like deliver full-on Kang. Yeah, it's going to be a variant.
One thing I noticed as well that was interesting, he said at the end of that, if you kill me, like it's just rebirth, I'll be back and I'll be seeing you soon.
Yeah.
So do you guys think like Kang or he who remains meant by that?
Well, I mean, I guess he's making a point of there's just going to be another timeline where a Kang, who wants to stop the multiverse of war, is going to be birthed. That's what he was really saying. Because what he said was like one Kang discovered another Kang, and they and they were communicating and sharing ideas, then they started to have fight amongst themselves and create the multiversal war. And then one of the Kangs, the one we see that becomes like the root of the TVA, decided like this can't run, makes the sacred timeline. All he's saying is another version of himself is just going to do the same thing. That's what I don't think he's going to come back. I don't think he's going to be resurrected. But I think it's just a case
eventually
of
another one of them will have the same idea. Of course. Yeah.
That's all it is.
So you don't think it'll be him just coming back? It'll be
no. It can't be, because as far as we're concerned, now that the timeline is kind of rippled and spread out, that particular timeline Kang is now gone. So it's now up to another Kang in another timeline or another branch of a timeline to be like, okay, well, let's now create a singular timeline again. And even then, I think he's going to be stopped anyway. So, I mean, having said that, the whole like kind of like rippled timeline thing leads very, 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 very nicely into the What If series, because that's supposed to be canon to the MCU as well, and the whole multiverse theory of things. So, the fact that we now have the established multiverse, and now we're also going to have What If and seeing like all these different variants of characters
in different situations.
It's a great setup. It's honestly a great setup. They've done really well.
Sets up for Doctor Strange as well.
Absolutely.
Multiverse and Madness, and then that's going to be like.
Yeah, I've seen some nice theories on even just like people now tying it back to like WandaVision. So is she going to pull the kids from like a different universe or whatever? Who knows? I saw someone saying that she heard them crying from a different universe. I mean, it's a bit out there, but why not? We've got a multiverse now, and it can do stuff like that.
I think we're going to get a Wanda variant. I think we're going to get a Wanda variant. I think we're going to get a Doctor Strange variant. I think we're going to get an Agatha Harkness variant. I think like all these kind of little things, like they're just going to kind of pop up. It's gonna. I think Multiverse of Madness is going to be a really good film, and especially really scary.
I've been seeing a lot of memes. One that obviously we see, obviously with WandaVision, she's messed up. Obviously the multiverse or whatnot. Also, Loki and Doctor Strange trying to clean up, and he just going through it, bro.
It's just like, which one of you did it? I ain't mad, but I just need to know which one of you did it.
Go clean them after their mess. But I was reading something that apparently they're trying to make Multiverse of Madness into a scary type.
Yeah, it should be. It's called the Multiverse of Madness. I don't want kiddie stuff. I want this.
Apparently, it was meant to be kind of like horror based, but then apparently it wasn't. Like, I don't think it will be. I don't think.
Nah. They said it was, then it wasn't. Then like other people have come forward and said like this film is actually quite scary, and it should be. Like I don't want.
It definitely should be. I'd be happy if it wasn't it. I felt like the decision to not do it feels just a bit.
Yeah.
A bit marvelly, innit? You know what I mean?
Definitely. Okay, so where would you rank Loki in regards to WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I still think it's the best one.
What, Loki?
Yeah, I think Loki's the best show.
Okay.
I feel like it was the final episode. It was the final episode. The scene with Kang and then Loki and Sylvie. The fact it wasn't even like an action-based scene, it was just literally dialogue, but it was.
Yeah, the dialogue was great. Yeah, especially with Jonathan Majors, he was.
Exactly. He was on point. Whereas I don't think I've really had a scene I enjoyed as much in the other ones. I'm not gonna lie. Even like the WandaVision, the big action scene at the end wasn't as good.
But even WandaVision, don't think that her becoming a problem. She's getting more powerful now. She created a whole little pocket universe or whatever, and she's gonna create thing. Do you think that it's gonna get to a point where she literally starts like bending reality as she's actually done? And also, there's right now because a lot of Avengers are dead or out of commission.
She was reading that book. I can't remember what the book's called, but she was learning all the spells and that because she was obviously inexperienced as a witch.
Yeah, and now she's kind of leaning into like the chaos magic a lot more, which shouldn't even exist to begin with. So like, yeah, I think Wanda will be a problem for a lot of people, especially with Doctor Strange and stuff. I think, yeah. But I still think I still think WandaVision was a little bit better than Loki, only because of, for me, I think the writing was a lot better for WandaVision, just in terms of like the exploration of like her grief and the stages of grief that she went through and everything else, and just because I think there was a lot more theory discussion with WandaVision, which I personally like. I just like discussing theory a lot more. So don't get me wrong, Loki's still great. I think it's a very, very close second to WandaVision. and even Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's not a bad series. I think it offered something different.
It's just comparing it to the other two.
Yeah, just comparing it to the other two, it's kind of like,
because Falcon and Winter Soldier is kind of self-imposed in a way, where it's only happening at a surface level, but compared to WandaVision and obviously Loki, that's setting us up for things further down the line, and it just goes deep into the multiverse and things different realities.
And Falcon and Winter Soldier gave us an important discussion about race within the MCU. It gave us Isaiah Bradley, and we were having discussions about what it meant to have all these black characters within the confines of the MCU, which was great, and which is what we needed. So I don't really think you can just say that, oh, Falcon and Winter Soldier was like a crap series and doesn't hold any importance. Nah. Okay.
I don't think any of them were bad. To be honest.
They're not bad.
I think they were all solid at least. I just think I had the same criticism. I feel like sometimes they're just a bit of a slow burner. Sometimes the first couple of episodes in their seasons feels a bit. The WandaVision one's a bit different because they completely switched it up, and I enjoyed what they was doing with that. But with Loki and with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I just felt like they was a bit boring, like the first 2-3 episodes.
What TV shows we're getting after this now?
So we're getting
No,
She-Hulk
Disney, no? Or
yeah, no, She-Hulk is as well. I don't know what order they're coming in, though, I'm not gonna lie.
Let's see. Marvel Television, Marvel Studios, Phase 4 upcoming. So we're getting What If is next.
Yeah, of course.
And then Miss Marvel is a film. No, Miss Marvel is a TV series. So What If, then Miss Marvel, then Hawkeye this year as well. And then after that, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion.
They're all 2022 though.
Yeah, they're all 2022. Yeah.
I'm really rocking Moon Knight though. Of course, you guys.
Moon Knight's gonna be crazy, bro.
Oh yeah.
Moon Knight needs to be in 18.
That's probably one of the ones I'm looking forward to. Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and then Hawkeye as well, because I'm looking forward to seeing Kate Bishop.
And that's all next year, right? More or less.
Yeah, this year's just What If, Miss Marvel, and Hawkeye.
What movies we getting this year? We're getting obviously Eternals and Shang-Chi.
Eternals, Shang-Chi, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Hold on, let me just double check. Let me see movies. Yeah, so this year is. So we've had Black Widow. So we've got Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, Eternals, then Spider-Man, and then that's it. And then 2022 is Doctor Strange, Thor, Black Panther, the Marvels. That's it. Yeah.
Decent slate.
It's a nice little setup for Phase 4.
I'm liking I like the whole thing of taking in content in both TV series and film.
Yeah.
Different ways of consuming the content. Yeah, I like the way they're doing things.
And finally, it's all being connected, isn't it? Not like Adrian's
show. Exactly. As well, they seem to be doing it properly.
Although, now that we've got the whole variant situation, multiverse situation, it could just be a case where they, canonize the Marvel TV, the Netflix TV shows and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it's like, okay, well, there's this in another multiverse or type of situation, which it's lazy, but at least it gives us something.
Everything is canon now. Everything's canon.
Everything is technically canon. Everything is technically canon. They can't say it's not. They're giving us a multiverse. They can't say it's not canon. It's canon.
Even stuff like what Runaways, what's it called? X-Men stuff.
Even the X-Men movies, they're all canon, bruv. They're all canon.
Even the X-Men movie, what's it called? What was that X-Men show again? Or the Mutant show? The Mutants or something? Mutants.
What New Mutants?
That's not New Mutants. That Mutant show, man.
The Gifted.
That's it. Gifted.
Oh yeah. All canon.
Runaways.
All canon.
What's
Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, obviously Cloak and Dagger. What's that one as well? With Charles Xavier's son.
Oh, Legion.
Legion as well. It's all canon now.
They can't say it's not.
They
give us some more, but they can't say it's not. Yeah. So
the multiverse are splintered into,
I like the way they were showing technology he had. Them diagrams he was showing of like the multiverses on top of each other.
That was sick. That was sick. But see, that just I think that just solidifies the point that we're gonna get an incursion event where we're gonna have all these different versions of the multiverse crashing into each other. So I think you might be right, Ludo. We might actually be getting Secret Wars.
I think so. I think that's what we're headed to.
I mean, because like even little things like we've got Namor appearing in Wakanda, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, right? We've got Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange already established. Obviously, Iron Man's dead, but the easy replacement. I'm just thinking like they're gonna create the Illuminati at some point. Like all the characters bar Iron Man are in place. So even
Black Panther, he decided not to join.
he's part of them.
That's why he decided not to join.
I think he bounced, but he was part of the initial.
Oh yeah, but he
team.
bounced. Yeah,
Like Black Panther, Namor, Reed Richards, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and someone else. I think it's Charles Xavier.
Yeah,
Either way, like the pieces for the Illuminati are there. We still the Infinity Stones aren't necessarily gone forever. You know, I feel like you're right. I feel like we're leading to Secret Wars.
Even with this Marvel stuff, would you want like dead characters that Iron Man had to come back?
No.
I mean, if Iron Man comes back, it has to be a variant Iron Man. It doesn't have to be Tony.
You wouldn't want that. Even say for example they bring back obviously Robert Day Johnson. You wouldn't want him to come back.
Not permanently.
I'd rather not see it. I don't even want to see it as a variant either. I think that's even worse. What I'd want to see is someone else take up the mantle.
Yeah, that's what I want.
You want to see someone else become Iron Man as a sense, rather than it literally being just a different one from a universe or whatever.
Okay.
Wrapping up. Yep.
So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. You know the usual stuff. Make sure you're following us on social media. Make sure you are liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. We'll be back next week with another episode for you guys. Hopefully we'll be back in the studio. Technical difficulties and family stuff went on, so we weren't in the studio this time, but it's all good. As usual, thank you very much, guys, for all the support. Hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy the good weather. And until next time,
peace. Are
you a content creator looking for some new kit? Well, ELGATO has a quality range of products just for you. That's right, ELGATO isn't just for gaming content. From the chroma key green screen, the key light which provides studio quality lighting, and of course the new Waveron microphone providing outstanding quality audio, ELGATO is there to meet all your content creation needs. Visit elgato.com and check out the full range of products for more information. And a big shout out to ELGATO for supporting us.